Yokohama.
Nerves of steel needed in sizzling conditions. It's time to seize the moment in Sepang. It's time to race in MotoGP.
Yokohama.
It is hot down here in the pit lanes. It's definitely going to be hotter out there on the track. Ladies and gents, we are back. Welcome back at the Malaysia Championship Series down here.
And the Malaysia Championship Series 2021 season is a go. You can hear those engines screaming their way. Driver all there's some contact at turn 15. We said there might be some action at turn 15. Team, wow, look, that's a double overtake. This is some huge stuff to kick off.
Kau boleh cakap aku. A very good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysia Championship Series 2023. Race 1, round 1 here. We are back, folks. We are definitely back down here at the Sepang International Circuit for the first round of the MCS 2023. Believe you me, you are definitely missing out if you're not here watching us live. But thank you so much for actually watching us on our Facebook channel of the Sepang Circuit channel. There's gonna be, as always, as you know, there's gonna be plenty of races. Today is race 1 and tomorrow will be race 2 for round number 1. Just to give you guys a heads up what's going to be happening on the track today, we have 51 cars around with us. I repeat, 51 across 4 platforms. That is the TP category, the MTC, the SP1 as well as the SP2. A lot of things are going to be happening down here at the Sepang International Circuit. The weather has been very kind to us and we do hope that the weather maintains throughout the whole of the race today. A little bit of information that we do want to share with you as well at the sepangcircuit.com, because that's where you can actually get tickets for the upcoming Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia 2023 MotoGP, which will be happening in November late this year. So don't miss out. Check out all the tickets that are on sale right now, and a special treat for you guys that the tickets will be on sale for you guys if you guys use your My Card at 10% off. Now enough about me. I do want to head down on the track later, but let's talk. Yeah, people are passing by in front and back of me, but let's go back to my brother-in-arms, Jeevan. What's up, man?
Mio, great to hear your voice again. Great to be here up at Sepang as well for what is going to be, as you said, another fantastic season of Malaysia Championship Series action. My name is Jeevan Silvanathan. This is the official live stream for the Sepang International Circuit, and it is, as Mio said, round 1, race 1 of 4 rounds again this year. And I can just tell you now that the next ones are going to be in, 18th, 19th June, 23rd, 24th July, and 17th, 18th September. That's the circuit that everyone loves and everyone's going to be racing on today. 5.543 kilometers, 15 corners with those 2 signature straights down the middle that make all the difference. And really the speed just radiates out from those 2 straights that every racer around Asia, if not the world, knows about on this FIA Grade 1 circuit. Great to be back in action. As Mio said, the weather has been really good to us. As you can see, blisteringly hot. It's actually been very, very hot in Malaysia over the last few weeks. Transitional monsoon phase, it's called, and it's only set to get hotter. And of course, this National Touring Car Championship, the premier National Touring Car Championship in Malaysia, really does set off and open up racing season around here. All the drivers love it. And as Mio pointed out, 4 classes of races if you're completely new to the Malaysia Championship Series. Then, where have you been for the last, I think, 11 years, first of all? But yes, 4 classes of car touring production, MTC, SP1, and SP2 V and G. So actually 2 subclasses in SP2 as well. And all of those classes are 51 cars, which I do think is the new record. We've been breaking records here at SIC for the MCS entrance over the last, basically since the pandemic, the last 3 years. More and more people have been itching to get back out on track, and it's great to see them here. Just on your screen there, you saw the R Engineering Civic FT2R, the all-conquering R Engineering Civic from the last few years. Didn't win last year though, I have to say, and is going to be looking to get back on top here. R Engineering, one of the biggest teams, always fielding multiple cars. And as we look at turn 15, you can just see all the cars getting out on track, getting ready. Of course, there have been free practices. There's been qualifying as well, and these Honda Jazzers and these Civics will generally lap this circuit around about race time, 2:29, 2:30 on a good day, and qualifying a little bit faster. And qualifying is what it's all about, because there is one name that's on top of the list, or on the front row at least, which I have to mention because to me, one of the most valuable drivers of the Malaysia Championship Series. Hopefully, Mio will be now, currently, as the cars pull up to the grid, actually going up to find him as well. Jonathan Z, the man who won so many races last year but didn't win the championship in the end. He is on in second spot, row 1 of the grid. It's Kifli Othman's partner, City Racing. I have Azli that's actually on top. But we are going to get down to the grid right now. Mio should be talking to Jebon Motorsport and one of the drivers there.
Okay, I'm down here with Hisham Uday, who actually clocked the fastest time in qualifying for his particular class. Hisham Uday, apa khabar?
Baik bang, baik.
Okay, dapat pole position untuk you punya kategori ni dengan ada 51 kereta yang nak dapatkan kemenangan untuk round pertama, race pertama ni. Duduk depan ni senang kan?
Susah juga bang, banyak cabaran.
Okay, ceritakan kita orang sikit. Cabaran apa? Apa yang you punya ekspektasi dan juga challenges yang you rasa you akan hadapi dalam race pertama ni?
Sebab tahun lepas pun kita orang race juga, banyak saingan lah. Timing semua dekat-dekat, yang kita usaha apa yang terbaik untuk jentera yang ada.
Okay. Dan rasanya kereta ni memang berpotensi untuk membawakan kemenangan dan juga dengan partner you?
Ya, InsyaAllah berpotensi untuk naikkan, mengambil apa? Yalah, insyaAllah.
Podium tu confirm tak?
InsyaAllah. Kalau tak ada apa-apa arah melintang, insyaAllah.
Okay, good luck Hisham Okay, good luck. Alright, that was from Hisham. Back to you, Jeevan.
Questions early on in the race. I think, as I said, a lot of people are going to be really just setting up for this first race. 4 rounds. So, if you can spread that out with the points, you've still got plenty of time at this juncture of the championship to really plan your strategy and what you're going to do. And remember, all of these drivers drive the full circuit every year. It's something that some of the F1 drivers around the world would love to do, come back to Malaysia and drive this circuit that regularly. But they know this track inside and out, every bump, every turn. And in these touring cars, and that's what makes touring car championships so fun to watch and so relatable all around the world. There's a lot of bump and grind that goes on. These cars, not high on aero, pretty high on power actually, tweaked up, but they do tend to pick their own racing lines as you get into some of these harder corners around the Sepang International Circuit. So now the boards are coming out on the grid. As you can see, that should be the 10-minute board. There'll be a 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute board, of course, and that you'll be able to see visually exactly. Well, when those boards come out, you don't actually have to see the board itself because more and more people will start leaving that grid. And as you can see, the heat haze is just too much there. Now, one of the big names that's bound to make a difference this season is Mitchell Chow, of course, one of Malaysia's most famous touring car drivers, and Mio is speaking to him right now.
Alright, we're here together with none other than the man himself, Mitchell Chia. Dude, how are you, man?
Good, very good, feeling good.
Alright, so new year, new season, same old race. Are we just gonna see that you're up on the podium each and every time?
I mean, definitely that's what I hope to do the whole year. Just trying to win every race. But it's gonna be tough, it's not gonna be easy, so we're gonna work our asses off.
And yeah, mind your language a bit, but I'm kidding. But what about any changes, particularly with the strategy or with the car and anything for this year specifically?
Not that much. Every time we get the chance to go on the track, we are always trying to improve. So everyone is also improving at the same time. We just have to find that little bit extra to keep improving and be faster than the rest. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, good luck to you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
All right, that's Mitchell. Back to you, Jeev.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Mitchell Chow, who had a great run at MTC last year, was actually leading the standings up to round 3 and was having a huge battle with Nick Marr, if I remember right. Yes, Nick Marr and Mark Darwin in that class, and he's looking, of course, to dominate that class this time. 51 cars, one of the biggest grids that we've seen for the MCS as well, and that includes, let me just check here, 9 cars in MTC, 27 in SB2, which is huge, 10 in SB1, and touring production, well, that's always been a much smaller class, bigger engines, of course, as well, and 5 of those, Jonathan Z in there, Tawhid Anwar, the international driver, one of the international drivers from Bangladesh, into his, this should be his 3rd season now, Shazul Hisham, Imran Rafi Adnan, and Ayub Azli, and that's Ayub Azli and Jonathan Z up front. But of course, Jonathan Z, while he did have an absolutely incredible MTC, or touring production, I should say, campaign, not just one race. He was winning both races on the rounds. I should just explain that. The calendar back to its usual frequency and regularities. It'll be Well, I'll just get back to that because we are going to get down to the grid again. Mio is talking to another driver.
Thank you.
I'm steaming hot out here. I don't know how is it with you inside there, but definitely you're all geared up. All right, now we're at the front of the pack here together with Kifli Othman down here, man. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good.
All right, dude, I'm sweating out here. How are you feeling in the car, man?
Honestly, it's like a sauna inside here.
Sauna or no sauna, but you're definitely excited. You're at the front. Everyone else, your competitors, all your challenges are all behind you. You have the full of the circuit in front of you. This must be a good feeling for you.
Yes, it's a good way to start the season by qualifying pole. So I hope to maintain the momentum and I hope to win today.
Of course, this is race one of round one. You have plenty more rounds, plenty of races to go. New year as well, as I was asking your colleague around, any new changes that you're bringing to the car or to yourself?
Maybe after this race. So because we didn't have enough time to shake down this car, maybe perhaps after this race we'll know what to improve. Right. Yeah, so we will have to wait after this race.
And the new patches of the track where it has been resurfaced, is it a good thing?
It's very slippery because it hasn't have enough rubber yet. So we have to brake slightly early to exit the corner. Otherwise, it's just understeer. Really bad.
So more action then?
Yeah, more action.
All right, good luck to you, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Kifli Othman. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Kifli Othman, one of the fastest drivers historically, not just in the Malaysia Championship Series, as I said, but around Sepang as well. And he was just talking about the new track. It has taken about 6 weeks off to get resurfaced, and Kifli just saying that really needs to be worn in a bit more. But as for the heat, well, we've seen track temperatures go up to last season up to about 58, 59 degrees centigrade. It is hot out there. As I said, it's a very interesting part of the year, this, when it starts getting really, really hot indeed. And so inside those cars and in those leathers, you can just imagine the kind of heat that's coming out. Now, just before that interview, I was just about to outline exactly how this all works. The four race weekends, of course, 21st, 22nd of May, that's today, 18th, 19th June, 23rd, 24th July, 17th, 18th September. Now, for 3 of those rounds, the first 3, it will be a race 1 on a Saturday. It'll be race 2 on a Sunday, just as it is this weekend. And that, of course, gives a lot of time for these drivers and teams to get the setups of their car right for the whole weekend and hopefully come up with the full 30-point bonanza, which is 15 points for the win on Saturday, 15 of course on Sunday. Following general global touring car point scoring schedules, that'll be 12 for second, or 15 for first, 12 for second, 10 for third, and then it goes all the way down for the next 10 competitors. So plenty of opportunities to score points in those 3 rounds. And then the 4th round, while traditionally that is a double header, 300-kilometer endurance race, and so double points, as you can imagine. So these guys love to race each other. They know each other very well. They know exactly the driving styles that they're going to be facing, but all the drivers this time are going to be facing one extra factor, which is 51 cars on the grid. So I'm sure that we're going to be having a staggered start. And don't forget, of course, the big race of Malaysia, the Grand Prix of Malaysia 2023, 10th, 12th of November this year. And as we've seen from the last few years, that sells out really quickly. So get your tickets now at www.sepangscircuit.com. And don't forget that if you're a MyCard holder, you can get a discount. If you're a Malaysian citizen, you'll get a discount off that. Isn't that a great deal? Of course it is. Go and check that out right now. So just waiting for these cars to get underway. And while we're waiting for that, don't forget also you can get your own car onto the FIA Grade 1 track here up at SIC. Book online now at www.sepangscircuit.com. See if you can set your own personal fastest lap with caution. Obviously, safety is paramount at all racetracks. Remember that, and we do want you to come and set the fastest lap, but also go home afterwards. And the cycling track day, that's back. That was introduced actually during the pandemic. It's done really, really well. 12th May 2023, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. at the South Paddock. Wonderful change of speed for the cycling track day, and you can book online now at www.sepangscircuit.com, where of course you can find out all the information you need about all the championships that are happening. And it's not just over the months, but of course happening today as well. MCS weekends, The Malaysia Championship Series race is the flagship race, of course, happening throughout the weekend, but there's other things happening this weekend. The Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Sprint Cup, that's back, part of season 6 of the Vios Festival. The Caterham Championship, Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia are also running alongside today. So plenty of action. In fact, while you're watching it on TV, get yourself up to the track. Come and explore the National Centre of Motorsports for Malaysia. And in fact, I'd even go as far as say the regional hub in Asia, because there aren't many countries around Southeast Asia that have such a glorious track as the Sepang International Circuit. Now, format for the race, 1 hour plus leader, as always, and that is going to include the big game changer, of course, for each of the races, which is the pit stop window, and that will take place at some point between the 25th and the 40th minute. And in that time, drivers have to change, of course, and you have to make your 3-minute compulsory stop, which is why that is the big game changer when it comes to the strategy of your race. Some of these drivers will try to build up as much of a lead as they can, come in really late, but really after that window, there's only about 20 minutes left of the race, so you really need to have that strategy set up, and of course for your teams as well to get that pit stop executed as well and as fast as possible. Now you can see now the grid is beginning to clear, which means it's almost race time. Great weather everywhere. Very sunny. Has been a bit rainy over the last few days, and I wonder if tomorrow morning, it's a very early morning race, 9:30 in the morning if I'm right, it's going to be race 2. Mark that down in your weekend calendar. Some of these drivers have taken these 4-cylinder cars, these 2000cc cars, and pushed it. And here's the starting grid. So you've got City Racing and Scuba Racing. Jonathan Z there on the top row. Kifli Othman and Ayub Azli on pole. Tawhid Anwar and Imran Wafi make up row 2. Shazul Hisham and Mohammed Hishamuddin on row 3. On row 4, Chow Tek Seong and Faris Fauzi, 2 well-known names to the MCS. Ken Urata also well-known, and Pisa Fan and Baron Sim in row 5. Jesmond Tan and Lim Jin Guan in row 6. Haman Sadat and Shinsuke Omeda in row 7. And Marbo Racing and High Rev Dream Chaser on row 8. Row 9, well, they got Hayden Heikel and Mohammed Naqib Aslan. That's row 10 to 12. Go Li Hang and Leon Koo on row 10. Danny Chin and Divesh Prajan on row 11. Hugh Koi San and Lee Wai Chong on row 12. Yip Kian Heng and Ng Chon Chin, you can see in row 13. Ong Wai Kwong and Timothy Thomas on row 14. And Hirobun Hiromasa Kitano on row 15, joined by Neo Lester. Row 16 is Amir Harris and Ian Wong. Row 17 is Ahmed Mikhail and Ahmed, no, it's the other City Racing car there. Leong Jia and Diego Moran on row 18. Lo Kent Jun and Ling Kwang Yu on row 19. Shafiq Shamsuddin on row 20. Tae Kian Yung also joining him there. And Estrada Motorsport SP2, well, Tan Woi Long on the row 21. So Chi Chong, Nick and Lo at row 22. Mohammed Afad and Chan Chak Yin on row 23. Ayman Hazik and Lim Yao Huang on row 24. Amazingly, it continues. Look at that. Alan Tia and Hu Jianli in row 25, and Mohammed Hasif makes up row 26 and our 51st car. That's amazing. Again, once again, to have such a big grid. So about to get underway with the formation lap, I'm sure. So easing their way around the track now. Race control, of course, will already be watching what's going on. The race clock has started in the top left of your corner, as you can see. And you've got to be careful here with this huge grid. But I'm sure all these races are going to be very, very happy to be back out on track. Last couple of years, of course, with the challenges of the pandemic, which has just yesterday been now declared globally over, which is great news for everyone. Do take care, of course, still just in case. But through those years, I think a lot of these drivers, a lot of these teams were wondering as to how and when they'd be able to get back out on track and, you know, really get into the routine, because that's what really brings efficiency and brings fast speeds and good race times. And of course, during that pandemic as well, as they get up to turns 4 and 5, it was bubble season, so you sometimes have 2 races in one day, race 1 and race 2, which of course was huge pressure on the teams to try and get their cars set up just in time for it. But they all managed to come through. Now it is perfectly set up for the year, and we're hoping for some really, really good racing, as we always have. MCS races have just about everything that you could want in them. Black flags, red flags, yellow flags, full course yellows, you name it. So you can see the beautiful new surface, the Sepang International circuit there. This is coming up to turns 9 and 10. Singapore and Indonesia last year. Of course, Johnny Z himself, Singaporean. And I just can't stress enough how much he's going to want to win this year. There was a rule infraction, believe it or not, in the last race, the final round of last year's championship, the 2022 season, which meant that he couldn't actually take part in that finale, though he had won, I think if I'm right, 5 of 8 races throughout the season, and won them in some style as well. Wasn't all good news. There was one 7-minute pit stop, I remember. I think it was in round 2. That didn't, of course, do him well. Have to get those pit stops right. Have to get the strategy right as to how you enter that pit window and come out of it. And as you can imagine, with 51 cars, lots of cars are going to be coming in at the same time. In fact, that looks like Divyesh Parajan, who's already out. Well, something's gone wrong with the starting procedure of that car for sure. I'm sure that's Divyesh Parajan. It is indeed. And it looks like that car from DV Motorsport is not going to be joining the pack now. Onto the back straight for the first starters, and they have to keep it a good equal 2x2 format, which isn't that. That's all over the place right now. Race control does have the authority to order another formation lap if they're not happy with the setup of this rolling start. I can just see a couple of cars on row 3 and row 4 that need to tuck it in a bit. You're going to have to get straighter than that. If not, of course, it is a danger to the entry to turn 1 with such a large amount of cars. Looking a little bit better now, but still. So cars coming up to turn 15. And once they're through turn 15, then those lights will go green. So the safety car peeling away. .54 minutes of race time left. Looking a little bit more organized now as they come round. This will be the last time, hopefully, that these cars travel at that speed for the next hour. So here we go, the run-up to green lights and the start of the Malaysia Championship Series 2023 season, and we are underway. Round one, race one has started. I can see Jonathan Z already moving over to the left behind Ayub Azli. Tawid Anwar just behind them, the top three. That must be Chao Tek Siong coming in on the outside, but it's Ayub into the corner. Johnny Z in second, Tawid Anwar in third from what I can see. It's almost as if they've picked up from where they left off last year. Great start from the first batch. That's Touring Production SP1, so SP2 and MTC about to start their races, and their Malaysia Championship Series 2023 season is now underway. Bright sun, hot day. Now time to translate all of that heat into race action on track. Well, it's good to see everyone getting away with such a big grid. Everyone getting away pretty perfectly. Ayub Azli already putting in some work. As you can see, it's him and Jonathan Z that are pulling away. Tawid Anwar and Chao Tek Siong are both skewing wide. Turn 7. Them on the newly surfaced track. You just see how wonderful that is. As Keithley pointed out, it needs to be worn in like everything else. Currently Ayub Azli is the fastest man through that sector, that opening sector. 33 seconds roughly for the 4 sectors of Sepang, and I can tell you, and it's actually Imran Wafi that's coming in third right now. Really important is you have to pace yourself in these opening laps. Johnny Z just pushing that statement immediately, because there's only one pace that Johnny Z knows, and that's fast. That Scuba 17 black and yellow car was all over the checkered flag last year. So as they come in and have now completed 2 laps, it is Ayub Azli, or Keithley Othman, I should say, he was in the car, from City Racing, who is burning up the track with a 2:39.64. And that is the fastest of the day so far on lap 2. Johnny Z, 2:31.147. Looking back at the start here, you can just see the top 3. Imran Wafi behind them. That was the Touring Production and SP1, and there was actually a bit of a knock in the middle of that pack. So many cars to see that, so not a completely perfect start. Touring Production missed that turn 1, very tough corner anyway. The switchback going into turn 2. There you can just see on your left the first classification, shall we say. Roughly 20 laps for these guys, lapping at about 2:30. There is confirmation of that best lap for Ayub Azli. Just managing to keep ahead of a charging Johnny Z. Anwar Avik, our engineering's actually in third, Imran Wafi in fourth, Chao Tek Siong in fifth, Kenurata in sixth, and that's where SP1 comes in. So Chao Tek Siong currently leading Kenurata in SP1. That's another battle that we saw a lot of last year. The pit window will be open from about 15 minutes from now. And an incident at turn 1 investigation. That's that one car. actually, it's Shamuddin, Mohammed Shamuddin from Jeban Dhaka Motorsport. We talked to him on the grid just now. Well, he's now under investigation from race control, so that's one headline I guess you didn't want to create, but some things you just can't help. Someone in the pits already as well. So is Aybazi and Jonathan Z fighting it out. Now they're coming through turn 2. I think the most important thing to remember is that, is what I said at the start of this race, that these drivers all know each other so well. They've fought against each other for so many years that some of these wheel-to-wheel encounters can get really rough. Looks like the MTC class currently being led by Naqib Aslan, sorry. And Hayden Heikel in second. So it's a Wing Hin Motorsport 1-2 right now in MTC. Mitchell Shah just ahead of them. So they're actually in second and third. But you can just see the same colors for Scuba and City Racing right in the middle of that MTC battle as well. Harris running 29. That's an SP2G battle going on. So that should be Ong Wai Kwong just ahead of him. So up at the front once more, Ayub Azli, Jonathan Z into turn 1. Under no pressure right now, but it's still Ayub who is putting the pedal to the metal. He's now set on new fastest lap, 2:27.659. Wow, he's taken 3 seconds off his opening lap. Only lap 4 now. Johnny Z is also sub 2:30, 2:28. Anwar Avik, one of our new drivers, in third at 2:29. Those are the only 3 drivers that have come through. And that is Anwar Avik, that beautiful R engineering car that won the championship twice just before the pandemic. Was actually reigning champion as the circuits shut down for those troublesome years. But due to the efforts of Yuzaidi Supangat and Jonathan Z, that car hasn't been top of the podium now for a couple of years. Definitely looking for some payback. That's actually Yip Kan Hieng and Chong Chin, both are engineering, topping SP2G right now, just 2.8 of a second between them, fighting it out. Timothy Thomas in the 3rd spot in SP2G. Turn 5. Great to see these cars back out on track, as I said. And it's not just about the cars. It's so easy when you watch motor racing to just think about the car and think about the driver and think about the track. But you know, you've got to remember that that car is also taken care of by at least 10, 20 maybe mechanics and engineers and technicians. The track that it's racing on, of course, that's upkept and managed by hundreds of people. So really this whole weekend, every single race event, a celebration, a festival of people coming together with a passion for motorsport. These drivers tried to deliver on top of that promise. Up into turn 10. Looks like that SB2G battle now. And this Ng Chong Chin from R Engineering that's now got some daylight ahead of Yip Kan Hyang. Freddie Ang still to come in that 91 car that's trailing this car. Freddie Ang very fast. So different for the smaller hatchbacks and the SB2s and the MTCs as they get around this track. They're much, I was about to say better on the corners, but as you just saw, just a couple of wheels out there. Touring Productions, good in a straight line for sure. Much bigger cars. So they're the ones that are going to be doing the lapping. There's only one car right now in Touring Production that's out of class and position. That is Shazul Hisham. Wow. Empire M Racing, the third season in a row that Empire M Racing has had troubles off the start. I don't even have to check that, I know that. Empire M Racing looking for a much better season, hopefully. That's a car that has done great wonders over the last few seasons in MTC. The 100 high rev Dream Chaser, unmistakable paint scheme. Mitchell Chow behind the wheel of that and currently leading MTC. No surprise there. That's probably one of the things I said most last year. Mitchell Chow leading that, though there was a huge challenge, of course, against him by Nick Marr and Mark Darwin. And that went right down to the wire. In terms of points progression over last season, most of these battles that you're seeing on track had already evolved up to about round 3. So that 300-kilometer doubleheader endurance round finale really did deliver some new stories as well. The big one, of course, being Yuzaidi Sepang who came through to top touring production class. That should be Chao Tek Sion. New paintwork for that car this year. Currently topping SP1. Chao ahead of Faris Fauzi, Ken Urata, Desmond Tan. Baron Sim, I'm guessing, is going to be in the DW Motorsports 46, but I'll have to check on that. We're closing in on that pit window that's going to open now in 6 minutes. And mark my words, there'll be a sudden change in pace of the race as most of these cars, I'm saying of the 51 at least 50% of the 51s, I'm saying 25 cars at least are all going to come in at the same time, and it's going to lead to a bit of a congestion jam in the pit lane itself, of course, but out on track, well, there's opportunities to gain some track advantage. Right, this looks like it might be an SP1 battle that we're watching now. Of your screen with the leader classification, the red, yellow and blue markers after the names of the drivers. That indicates what class they're in, red being touring production, yellow being SP1 and blue being MTC, just to keep you in the know of how those races are going. If you look there now, you can actually see where each of the 3 races are and who's leading them as well. Back half of the circuit. Look at that wonderful asphalt. It took about 6 weeks to lay down. Just part of the huge amount of maintenance to keep this world-class track in good shape, in good nick. That is Ken Urata in his trademark red and white 55. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ken Urata, by far, statistically one of the most reliable and consistent finishers in the MCS. R-Works Rios racer. And I can tell you that's one of our new drivers, Jesmond Tan. Trying on the outside, another R Engineering car, the 444. Too wide that time, it's not going to catch the switchback on turn 2. So Ken Urata, I think one thing that Jesmond Tan's about to find out is how good Ken Urata is at defending lines, because that is, I'd say, one of his standout skills. He can become an absolute moving brick wall for anyone that wants to come through. Jesmond tries again on the inside, no luck there. Behind them, oh, she looked like a couple of lap markers. Well, I wonder, somebody just got knocked off the track there. Of bump and grind, as I call it, the rough and tumble you do see at MCS races, and of course the other championships happening today as well now. While dodging and weaving as they enter turn 15. That's Timothy Thomas, number 70 car, SB2G. And he's trailing Kian Heng still. Both of them fighting for second and third in SB2G. Chong Chin still on top. So at the 36-minute mark, we've got Azli, or Keithley Othman, I should say, still ruling the roost up at Touring Production ahead of Jonathan Z. In SB1, it's Fariz Fauzi that's taken the lead over Chao Tek Seong. There's a big battle happening there. MTC, Mitchell Chia is being chased by Nakib Aslan. And in SB2G, Chong Cheng leading over Kan Heng. And in SB2V, that's Diego Morad and Alex Jung. Axel Sports, and we're now going to get down to the pits where Mio is talking to the 91 car. Should be Freddie Ang.
Yeah, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good today. Thanks, everyone.
All right. So how does it feel, the first race, the first round of FCS coming back here?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's really nice. Yeah. And everyone is exciting now. Yeah.
So obviously we have a lot more races in front of us. This is just the first round. Any kind of strategy that you can share with our audiences that you're putting in, the fact that it's only the first race?
Yeah, I think it's just go and fast.
I think your partner out there is doing very well, very fast right now.
Yeah. Freddie is doing very well now.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why we are waiting to change driver. Yeah.
So any pressure for you to maintain what he's doing now on the track?
Yeah, I'll try to relax myself, then I will try to best for myself. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Good luck to you again, Hank.
Thank you.
All right, cheers, man. Back to you, Jivan.
Thanks a lot, Mio. So Freddie Ang now confirmed to be in that car. It is completely up to the teams as to who goes first in those cars, and we do get an idea, but that means Yip Kan Yang, who we just spoke to, will be getting in now. The pit window is 1 minute away from opening, and I did see there, it looked like Hugh Janney from the Scuba Racing team in SB2V out of the race. That's what we've heard. We saw some pictures on that as well. That 117 car, it looks like it might be around about turn 6 or 7 actually. We'll have to get confirmation on that. So a couple of DNFs already. Leon Koo and Mikhail, our engineering teams, out the 3rd and 2nd lap. And of course, Divyesh Prajan out pretty much before the race started. There's Kenny Rata in that number 55 car. Now in 3rd for SB1. And as they come through to start their 10th lap, in fact their 9th lap, still Jesmond Tan in that black car chasing Ken Urata. Faiz Fauzi just ahead of both of them in SB1. Good start from Faiz again. He was another one of the top contenders from last year. Can't tell you the big names. MTC, well, it was Hayden Heikel, Mitchell Chat, and Nick Ma. Touring production, it was Tawid Anwar, Johnny Z, and Yuzaidi Supangat. SB1, that was Putra Adams Championship, really. Ken Urata and Chow Taek Song obviously in the mix there in SB2. Ian Wong, Ayub Azli, and Imran Wafi were the 3 drivers representing the 3 teams that really contested well over the course of the season. That's what's important to note. It's great to be fast on the day, but who wants to just win the battle? And the aim is about winning the war. Pit window now open, and incidents coming in thick and fast. That turn 1 incident we saw at the start of the race, that's now going to go to after the race for a determination. All drivers being asked to respect their track limits. Keep it on the grey stuff. Now, I'm not contravening that rule at all, but I do have to say touring cars are a little bit harder to keep on the black stuff than, say, an F1 car, which has so much grip and so much aero and downforce that you can pick pretty much whatever line you want from it. When a touring car, as I said at the start of the race, well, that's pretty much have an idea as to how you're going to take the corner and execute it as best as you can. But remember that chassis is going to be rolling away from you, the G-force is going to be pulling into you. It's fun, it's a lot of fun, but it has to be done really, really well. And these guys that you're watching on the screen, they make it look easy. Just saying that now, it looked like Chow Taek Song actually that was having a little bit of trouble entering turn 15. A little bit too much power, may not have been. It was definitely an SB1 car. Suzuki Swifts and Honda Cities making up the MTC start list or entry list for this first round. SB2's a lot of Honda Jazzers and Suzuki Swifts again. S Production 1. The Honda FD2Rs starts making an appearance. Civic FD2Rs as well, and of course Touring Production, the bigger, much bigger Honda FD2Rs as well. But there are very few racing championships, I can tell you, that can boast such massive grid year after year. The Malaysian Championship Series really is a fantastic testament to the efforts of not just these teams and the drivers, but of course the track itself. There is our leader, number 50, Kifli Othman, about to change over. Is he coming in? Not yet. Pit window's still open. That's what I was talking about. Strategy is going to keep that lead of his, which is now 15 seconds over Jonathan Z. That's been very quiet. 2:28.676 for Kifli. just started his 11th lap. Looking very solid. Kenny Rata there. Still in that SP1 category, but still trailing. He's actually now fallen behind Jesmond Tan. Just talking about Ken Rata defending, I'm guessing he's in the pits. He is in the pits. Right now, Jonathan Z in the pits, Ken Rata, Goh Lee Heng, Danny Chin, Lester Neo, and Lo Kian Hang, Hugh Koi Sun, a couple of new drivers for this year, Tae Kan Young. And now we get a bit of a manager's insight as we get back down with Mio into the pits.
All right, now I'm down here at the pits for the team manager of the night racing team. We have CY Ku together with us. CY, how are we doing?
Hi, good, very good, very good.
Right. Excited, first day, MCS is back.
Yeah, so after so many years, finally we are back to MCS. So yeah, this year will be our new team racing the first season in MCS.
First season, there's always some expectation that comes with it. Granted, it's only round one, race one. What are your expectations as team manager?
Yeah, so for us, of course, to get as near to the front group as possible. But now we know there's still a little bit of a gap in between. So luckily, we have some experience last year in S1K. So we collected some data from there. So we are still finding the setup for this route. So hopefully coming up, we can have a better result.
And what about your drivers? I believe that you have the utmost belief of your drivers out there doing their best.
Yeah, so driver is very experienced. So he's from go-kart until now. So yeah, he's good. So it's just that we need more experience. So after the pandemic, a long break. So each or everyone here, we needed some time to kick it back.
Yeah, it's all about kicking it back and doing their upper best. Thank you, CY. Back to you, Jeevan.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Great insight there from CW Ku, in that he did highlight what the experience is like for a lot of these teams and drivers coming into the MCS for the first time. They've raced for night racing teams, raced for a few years, of course. First time back in the MCS now after some experience from S1K, and you know, that's what it's all about. There is a racing pyramid almost here at Sepang, where all these drivers have these different opportunities. S1K, of course, will be happening again this year. The famed 1,000 kilometer Sepang race, that's going to be on the 24th to 26th of November. Do check the official website for more details on that. But a great opportunity for these guys to get out in their cars and really start testing out not just how to make a car go fast on track, but also how to keep that car at the top of the standings throughout the year. And that really is so much more of a challenge than getting a fast lap out on a track. I mean, if you can sub 230 in an MCS race, then you've already done well. If you can sub 230 both races for all 4 rounds, then that really is something that you can take your hat off to at the end of the year. Very, very difficult indeed. These teams are not as funded like F1 teams and, you know, some of these other teams that you see around the world or in other championships. It really is a day-to-day grind, and just ultimate praise and appreciation and respect going out to each of these team members and team managers as well. Now, getting back to the race, well, the pit window is still open. We've got about 25 minutes left on the race clock, so it is getting to that business part of the race. Glad to say and happy to report that there's only 3 cars that have had to retire so far. That is 2R Engineering to the DB Motorsport, 2 MTCs and an SP2G, and that was very early on in the race. Everybody had a good start. And let's get back down to the grid now, where Mio is talking to yet another team member.
Okay, now I'm here together with the driver car number 47, Aiman Haziq ID, who has just passed his his machine, obviously, to his partner to finish the rest of the race. Aiman, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Tadi I dah beritahu sebenarnya you start dekat last tadi tapi you berjaya mengejar sampai P13.
Yes.
Okay. So, ceritakan pengalaman you daripada back of the pack, you dapat kejar semua tu and paskan baton kepada partner you. Macam mana perasaan tu?
Oh, perasaan memang best juga lah. Start dari belakang memang main potong je lah. Lepas tadi masa belakang, kita depan dia tak alert sangat. So, saya lepas masa start memang tekan, dah pun 3 kereta dah. Lepas tu saya battle lawan-lawan lah. Satu je lah. Ada juga close call sikit-sikit lah. Tapi semua clean lah. Yang race memang clean.
Cara Aiman cerita ni macam Aiman dah berlumba dah 20 tahun dah sebenarnya. Tapi Aiman nak kongsi dia, berapa umur Aiman ni?
24.
24 Dah berapa lama racing?
Kalau ikut go-kart dengan simulator, 10 tahun.
Dah 10 tahun dah.
Racing, baru 2 tahun.
Baru 2 tahun. Dan MCS tahun ni, yelah kita dah, dulu kita zaman PKP dulu, dah kita kembali racing, dan sekarang kita ada full house. Pastinya memberikan satu harapan juga kepada Aiman dan juga tim untuk buat yang terbaik.
Yes, betul-betul.
Dan harapan Aiman untuk round 1, race 1 dan seterusnya?
Saya harap saya dapat belajar banyak daripada round 1 lah, sebab round 1 memang tak smooth sailing lah kata. Memang banyak, masa testing memang banyak isu situ sana. Tapi saya pun rasa dah bersisa sikit dengan kereta ni. So harap nanti race 2 boleh tunjuk lagi belajar saya, dan next round 2 we'll try fight for the win.
Okay, baik. Good luck kepada Aiman. That's it from this young man over here. Jeevan, we're not young anymore.
No, we're not at all. Thanks, Neil, for that. Another great insight into what it's like to be an MCS driver. And I forgot to mention, of course, yes, there's simulators. These days, it's not just about kind of learning at the wheel, but you can actually build up from go-kart to sim and then get in the car as well. Some of these guys, just a couple of years experience, but still enjoying themselves. And look at the energy of getting into it. This is a great platform for some of these young drivers, these MCS weekends. And of course, talking about that, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Sprint Cup, that's all about young racing. That's also happening later on this afternoon. Now, getting back to the race, it is still, well, Ayub Azli is now in that car, I'm sure. Keith Leoffman must have come in by now. No, he hasn't. He has not come in for his pit stop yet. So Keith Lee's still setting up the lead for his partner, for City Racing, who are dominating this race right now, 28 seconds ahead of Anwar Avik with R Engineering and Imran Wafi in third in touring production. Then it's Ayman Sarat and Lim Jun Guang in SP1, topping the top 2 there. Faris Fawzi now in third. And don't forget, the Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia 2023, 10th to 12th of November this year. Sold out every year, so get your tickets really, really early. And you can do that by logging on to www.sepangcircuit.com. Getting back to the classifications, as we see one of the Wing Hin cars come in. That should be, I thought that was Naqib Azad. And also, don't forget your open track day happening here at the SIC. All these drivers have done it before. You should get your car up on this track. Book online now, www.sepangcircuit.com. And while we're at it, the cycling track day, one of the most recent successful innovations and initiatives that have turned up from SIC. 7 p.m. to 12 a.m., 12th of May, South Paddock. Once again, www.sepangcircuit.com for more details. So, 21 minutes left for these first points of the year get dished out. There is that car, that all-conquering number 44 Civic FD2R. They always talk about former champions as drivers, but I think we are going to be back with more as we look at Tawad Anwar. Do stay with us for more MCS.
Hummer.
Nerves of steel needed in sizzling conditions. It's time to seize the moment in Sepang. It's time to race in MotoGP.
Yokohama.
Welcome back to the Malaysia Championship Series Round 1, Race 1 of the 2023 season here on the official live stream of the Sepang International Circuit. It is the business end of this race. There is 17 minutes left on the clock, and a lot of these drivers have already come in and made their pit stops. I can tell you all the top 5 in touring production have. In fact, there's only one car that hasn't. In fact, there are a couple of cars that haven't, and that is Estrada Motorsport and Scuba Racing Team. Those are currently, they may have actually DNF'd those cars, so that would explain why they haven't done a pit stop. So I can now correct myself and say everyone on the track right now has made their pit stop, which means that the overall classifications and the class classifications of touring production, MTC, SP1, SP2, V and G, will start resettling down, because during that pit window, so many cars coming in at the same time means that, of course, the standing classifications get very, very confusing, even for our state-of-the-art computers that we have here. So it should start settling down now, and of course that card has been played in terms of strategy for these teams. They've now made their pit stop. They've hopefully been executed as well as possible, and this has been, as we look at that red and green City Racing 50 car, that has been a masterclass from them today, I can tell you. Jonathan Z, who was chasing the back bumper of that car, well, has tried, but has not managed to come through at all. Now that is Shinsuke Yamada, R-Works in the 13 car. That Honda FD2R from City Racing. City Racing, one of the teams that have definitely been in and amongst the podiums and wins over the last, well, I'd say 5 seasons. Been probably about 5 seasons now for MCS, so it's good to see them kicking off their season so well. Now they are 27 seconds ahead after the pit stop, remember, of Anwar Avik in that 44 Civic FD2. Imran Wafi in 3rd, Jonathan Z in 4th, some 54 seconds back from our leader. There he is, Johnny Z. So still some points for him, roughly about 8 points in fact, if he stays in this position for the next 14 minutes. But as I said, first race of round 1, another 15 points up for grabs tomorrow. So any points he doesn't make up today, maybe he's going to be happy that he can try and address the situation tomorrow. Meanwhile, in SP1, Chao Tae-seong has retaken the lead, so great pit strategy from him. Ken Urata now in second, so that's basically now turning into a rehearsal for, or a repeat, I should say, of what happened last year. Jesmond Tan is in third, and Pi Sao Fan or Baron Sim should now be behind the wheel of that DW Motorsport 48. That's in fourth. In MTC, it's Mitchell Chia ahead of, should be Nabil Aslan now for Wing Hin Motorsport. Wing Hin with a good double, second and third. Hayden Heikel in third there in MTC. SB2G, it's Timmy Thomas ahead of Ng Chong Chin and Yip Kian Heng. And there's a stop and go penalty that's also been handed out, as you can see. Car 75. So that is Bay Racing Team. Should be Yi Yen Jin. Some of these new drivers coming to the MCS going to be learning exactly how hard it is. Race control, I like to call body with 1,000 eyes, because they do see absolutely everything. And there have been a lot of situations over the last few years as to adjudication and some results turning up late, and some people getting docked points, but as I said, is it about the points for this family of drivers that come out here? Or is it about just setting the fastest lap, which currently is 2:27 still from Keith Lee Hoffman. That's going to go into the bank of the fastest laps that we've seen all year. And I think the fastest we've seen from one of the fastest drivers, Mark Darwin, was, I'm not kidding, 2:24. Man put in a 2:24 a few years back. Haven't seen anything like it. It was a really dry track, very sunny, and Mark Darwin, one of the fastest cars out there for touring production. But 2:27 is where we start this year. So it's another car that has stopped right outside the pit lane. That's Fariz Fauzi. Well, he was second in SB1, and now it looks like he is out for the count. So that's news there with 11 minutes to go that Fariz Fauzi has dropped down. Yes, I can't see him in that leader classification either. Wow, that's big news. That looks like a Tedco racing car. Coming into the pits. Pit window has been closed now for a while, so that might be an extra pit stop for some troubleshooting. A lot of new drivers in the 51 car lineup today. We'll be finding out exactly how close to the mark they have to be in terms of executing their 3-minute pit stops for one. Also, a kind of driving conditions that you can expect on the outside on track. So, all seems to be good with that car. And that is, oh, that was a stop and go penalty. So, no, that was absolutely nothing wrong with the car. That was just a well taken, efficiently taken stop and go penalty by Bay Racing Team. Well done. Important to get in early, get that, whatever it is, drive through or stop and go, get it done, get it out of the way quickly so it doesn't affect your overall time too much or more than it has. 17 laps completed now. 10 minutes left on the race clock. That 50 Honda FD2R, untroubled since the beginning. Taking it nice and easy through 9 and 10. Ayub Azli, the younger driver, but no joke, of course. There's Empire M Racing with that having trouble again. I didn't mean to sound like that, but Empire M Racing have, over the last 3 seasons, found themselves in A lot of mechanical problems more than anything else. They've been quite fast on track. Shazuli Sham as well has been in amongst the podiums. I think that might be the first Renault that we've seen at MCS as they go past Faraz Fawzi's car. Taking it easy, that number 34 car. Looking at the 34 livery, looking good on that car, I have to say. So the race format, once again, 1 hour plus leader. So it's all going to be up to Ayub Azli. As soon as he finishes, it'll be 1 lap after that. I have to say, I can't really see much troubling him unless it's a mechanical issue, and hopefully that's not going to happen. Again, we've seen great consistency from this opening set of drivers. It might change over the next 3 weekends. You might have teams that compete, teams that can compete, teams that can't compete. As I said, it is a very delicate situation in terms of getting these cars out on track just to make qualifying and practice. And you do, of course, have to make at least one free practice in qualifying if you are going to be, what's the ST Wangan team in a bit of trouble there. Turn 10. And not recovering from it either by the looks of it. So that should be Lee Jianhe. Unfortunate. Roughly about 3 laps left in this race. Just after lunchtime, Malaysian time, and of course, once again, if you have been watching us on the official Facebook page, then a big hi to all of you. Do keep your comments coming in, and do check that official website for all the big initiatives happening this year. Not just the Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia, of course, but also the Open Track Day, Cycling Open Day, and all the news about the Malaysia Championship Series as well. Comprehensive website, lots going on there. So looking down from turn 5. And that should be Jonathan Zine, just a background, trying to put a run in here. He's currently lapping at 2:34. Ayub Azli lapping at 2:31, still at 2:27.659. The benchmark fastest lap that was set very early as well. Unsporting flag has been shown. That starts Mohammed Hasif from Empire M Racing. Now this is going to be well, quite the statistic, because Empire M Racing picked up an unsporting flag last year as well. Told you, that team, wishing the best of luck, but you've got to kind of dig yourselves out of a few of these things. One of the beautiful Wing Hint Motorsport cars. Just love the paintwork on these cars, blue and red, 38, 39. Wonderfully done. And looking good right now, those Wing Hint cars. That 38 car, that should be Nabil Nur Aslan, now in second spot in MTC, just behind Mitchell Chia. That's another fight that started last year, really. That is Anwar Avik, one of our new drivers, driving that car that has been driven by Laiwi Singh and Dawud Anwar, and beautifully handling car, Civic FD2. Imran Wafi in third, and Jonathan Z closing in on him just only slightly in fourth. That's what Touring Production is going to look like as we watch Anwar Avik come through in turn 10. Good shot there. You can just see turns 10 and 11. And also the cloud cover that's turning up. It's been a hot day. It's been a dry track as well. But you can just tell from the texture of the asphalt, the deep grey, that there was some moisture over the last 24 hours. Great drainage up here at Sepang, obviously, so unless it's a torrential rainstorm, the water will run off pretty easily, especially with this new asphalt that's been laid down. So 3:40 left on the race clock. We're getting into that last lap plus leader territory. Still Ayub Azli and Kifli Othman, City Racing up front by some, well, right now by a full lap over Anwar. 17 seconds, in fact, ahead. Anwar's just joined them on 20 laps. So I did say it was roughly 20 laps. Well, looks like this one's going to be 21. But a good run out from everyone that's taken part in all four classes. Still, even at this late stage, it's about 6 cars that are off pace, and 4 of them are DNFs. So there's Lee Jong-hui and Ahmed Hasif that are still just lagging. They're still on their 16th lap. But Fariz Fauzi, Ayman Sadat in the pits, Kent Leong, Leon Koo, Divyash Parajan, all going to have to bide their time and wait for an early start tomorrow for Malaysia Championship Series Round 1 Race 2. That's going to be at 9:30 in the morning Malaysia time. Cool air to deal with. Left of your screen you can see lap 20. Vasily up front. Tawid Anwar now 17 seconds behind him. In fact, Tawid Anwar using the expansion of his name this year. Anwar Avik. A very resourceful driver. Raced in the Middle East a lot. From Bangladesh. Was part of the UAE Pro Car Championship. He's going to start his season with a 2nd spot. So while they're asking new drivers, he's not one of them. There's the other wing-in motorsport car you can see. Beautiful. Taking it just ahead of Ayub Azli, who's now on to definitely his closing stage of this race. No troubles whatsoever for Kifli and Ayub Azli. And there's confirmation of that last lap. We have seen some last gasp, last lap drama in the past. Hopefully that's not going to affect Ayub Azli this time. In fact, I actually think one of the years he was part of that, but we've seen cars stop, grind to a halt right at the finish line, turn 15, claiming victims, right, death, and in fact championships also. 23 Motors, I remember, was one of the teams that was denied the championship just a couple of years back on the last lap. But it looks like everything's going to be clear for Ayub Azli here. Chao Tek Seong will be coming in for, I'm sure, the, yes, SP1 victory over Ken Urata and Baron Sim. So Scuba, R Engineering and R-Works Rios, top 3 in SP1. Mitchell Chia and the Nakib and Nabil from Wing Hin Motorsports for the top 2 in MTC. Hayden Heichel will be taking the 3rd, so Wing Hin double. Good for them. SB2G, that's going to be Timmy Thomas, On Yu Wei, and Un Chong Ching and Chong Kung in for our engineering. And SB2V, Shafiq Shamsuddin for Piston Project, and Diego Moran and Alex Young for Axel Sports. Great to see Axel Sports up there on the podium as well. Axel Sports, of course, created by Malaysia's ex-F1 legend, Alex Young himself, in the car today. So, checkered flag time. There it is. City Racing claim touring production win here at the MCS Round 1 Race 1 2023 season. Tawad Anwar, aka Anwar Avik, coming through for the 2nd spot right there. Wafi not far behind, I'm sure. Actually about 26 seconds behind. He's going to be taking the 3rd spot. So all the cars coming through for them. Finishes. Good, solid race, well executed, disciplined. Just a couple of track limits abuses, 1 stop and go penalty. You know what? Relatively, that's actually one of the best MCS races in terms of fair play that I can remember. Well done to all of them. Like SB2Gs and SB2Vs still coming in now. SB2Gs have in fact finished. Touring production is finished. SB1 is finished, so it is just SB2Vs, and they're starting to come through now. Tian Yong, Alan Tia, Ling Guang Yu, Bauer Bay Racing Team, Piston Project, Axel Sports making their finishes, and that's the winner of the, once again I should say, of the MTC class. They should put badges on that car so that you can see exactly how many races it's won over the last few years. And that 100 Suzuki Swift, Mitchell Chia and Rahul Raj Maya. They have been paired up before, but I think this is the first time they've started the season together. As the final cars come through, braving the heat of the lunchtime start, round 1 race 1. These cars will make their way to Parc Fermé for, of course, the all-important scrutineering. Here they come. So there he is, Mayo Bursley celebrating. Keith Hoffman, of course, is bound to be in and around that area, being the man that's engineered that run. There he is. Very experienced racing driver, Keith Hoffman. He's raced all of the classes here at MCS and has always proved himself to be very fast. But that wasn't just about being fast, that was also about a great pit strategy in that pit window, coming in, getting out, executing it well, maintaining that lead. As the cars line up to get into Parc Fermé. Do stick around, of course, podium presentations for the 4 classes coming up soon. And looking at the full results, this is for MTC Mitchell with another great win in that 100 high rev Dream Chaser Suzuki Swift. It's Nakib and Nabil in second to kick off a Wing Hin Motorsport double. Hayden Heikel taking third there, Go Li Heng in fourth, Li Wai Chong in fifth, Danny Chin and Hugh Koi Sen sixth and seventh, Leon Koo, of course, DNF and Divyash Parajin never really got started for that 22 lap DNF, which is, yes, the beginning of the race. For touring production, it was fantastic performance from City Racing. Look at that time. Tawid Anwar coming in second to kick off his season well this year. Imran Wafi in third. Jonathan Z with much to do for race 2 tomorrow. And Empire M Racing, the 34 car, in fifth. So for the big SB1 category first, Chao Tae-seong and Ken Urata, that fight continuing on from last season. The top 2, Pisao Fan and Baron Sim in third, Jesmond Tan in fourth, Lim Jin in fifth, Shinsuke Umeda in sixth, Mohamed Hishamuddin and Mohamed Reza in seventh. And as we move on to S Production 2, Diego Moran and Alex Jung finished up on top in the end. It was second up to the last lap. Shafiq Shamsuddin in second, Alan Tia and Tan Wuloy in third and fourth, Sochi Chong, Mohamed Effendi, Juan Lee and Mohamed Hasif taking us up to eighth, and Fadilan Hilmi Haron in ninth. And looking at SB2G, that's Timmy Thomas and Ing Chong Chin. Great fight from them, just 6 seconds between them in the end. Lester Neo, Ian Wong in third and fourth, Freddie Yang in fifth, Ahmed Akid Azli in sixth, Amir Harris, Hiromasa, I should say, in eighth, Ong Wai Kwong and Nick An Lo in 10th. So looking back now at this opening salvo for the MCS in 2023, and it was a huge grid.
We're always trying to improve.
51 cars on that grid, biggest we've seen in a couple of years. It's been getting steadily bigger, in fact. Staggered grids. First half, all made it off the line well. Jonathan Z, Tawid Anwar and Ayub Azli immediately getting into battle right off the first corner. Just that little run-in for the middle of the pack off the start. And then once we got into the race, well, it was good to see everybody having safe, fast racing. 2:27 was our fastest lap of the day.
First round of FCS coming.
And just a limited number of cars. 6 cars in the end didn't make it to the final. But it was all about that City 50 car as it came into the pit stops. They executed their strategy absolutely perfectly and were untroubled right to the end. The only stop and go penalty that we saw for the race. Let's hope it keeps that way for the rest of the season. Great performance from Tawid Anwar and that former championship winning car. And of course turn 9 and turn 10 causing some troubles as always. Ken Urata once again keeping up his title of being one of the most reliable finishers in MCS history. And at the end it's Ayub Azli that capitalizes on the great work set up by his teammates to take the checkered flag and the first win of the 2023 season. So that brings us to the end of round one, race one for the Malaysia Championship Series. Don't forget that race two is going to be starting bright and early tomorrow morning. That's 9:30 in the morning Malaysia time. And for all information, of course, results and some of these initiatives that you've seen, get onto the website www.sepangcircuit.com. We'll catch you tomorrow.
It is hot down here in the pit lanes. It's definitely going to be hotter out there on the track. Ladies and gents, we are back. Welcome back at the Malaysia Championship Series down here.
And the Malaysia Championship Series 2021 season is a go. You can hear those engines screaming their way. Driver all lesson contact at turn 15. We said there might be some action at turn 15. Wow, look, that's a double overtake. This is some huge stuff to kick off